Welcome to the second episode covering our time in the incredible Lofoten Peninsula. Previously, we had jumped to the far-off island of Værøy, the farthest point out the peninsula which Zeros will have visited. You may recall that we had crazy overnight winds pushing us onto the dock in Værøy. That's where we'll pick up in this episode. We visit some very special places that we had hopped over on our way down the peninsula.
It's a lot better now. We are sailing underway. We got out of the harbor during a lull, and we hurriedly tossed off the dock lines, threw the bow thruster in to kick the bow out, and away we went from the dock. It was like a, 8 to 10 knot lull versus the gusts that were going up to 30 knots. So we were happy to get off the dock. As soon as we got out the harbor, which was pretty bumpy, the wind sort of settled down. We've got 15 to 18 knots right now, and none of this 30 knot gust stuff. So actually, I think it's been more comfortable out here, which I didn't really anticipate. I thought it was going to be rougher, more bigger waves, and more whitewater, but the wind is pretty consistent and not this super gusty stuff that was in the harbor. So clearly we were getting like a funneling effect going on in the harbor. So now we just have the jib up, first reef point, and we are sailing along at about 6 knots, which is very comfortable. Karen's having her coffee. Yep. I'm having my tea, and we are saying goodbye to Vade. It was nice, but very uncomfortable overnight.
This is the southern part of the island of Moskinasoy. We left this morning from Værøy after a pretty windy night, and now we're going past this area that's really cool. It seems as though there's some amazing waterfalls back in here. We're going to try to walk over here in a few days. We are just around the corner from Sørvågen, and just coming in here, there's some really nice lighthouses out on the outer island protecting this little cove. So yeah, we're excited. Harbor seal. He just plopped his nose up, looked around, and went out. Let's see if he comes back. So this is Sørvågen. It's a very cute little harbor. We're liking it. Lots of red buildings. Lots of fishing boats. It's a pretty active fishing harbor, I guess. There's a fish processing plant down the way. Fishermen's cabins that you can rent to stay in for the night, and lots of pretty homes around, and Zeros. And where's my little harbor seal? So it's a beautiful afternoon in the harbor of Sørvågen. It's just a great place. Very cute. It's a totally working harbor. And one very interesting thing is I noticed there's supposed to be a rock down below here, and lo and behold, there's one hell of a rock down under the water. So we're going to be leaving at least mid-tide and up, because I couldn't see this before, but now I can see it, and it is right there and pretty prominent. Right, here's the town of and we're going to take a hike way back up in here around a lake. It's a very long hike, so we're hoping to enjoy it.
The little people amongst this big rocky valley here with this beautiful lake.
On a really nice hike here. Doesn't get a lot of elevation, but it has a lot of really great views.
What is a hike without waterfalls?
The hike ended back in the tourist village of
Here's the town of Værøy, which is the A with a dot over it. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce it, but it is a very cute town. It pretty much, the entire thing is a museum, the entire town. But they also have these fishing, these old fishing houses that are for rent to stay in. But other than that, the whole place is a museum. Some commotion going on with the black-footed kittiwakes. Everybody's having a kerfuffle. These are all the old fishermen's homes that they lived in when they came over to fish for the season. It's pretty cool. They're all like clinging to the sides of the harbor here.
The next day, we walked to the neighboring harbor of Sørvågen and saw even more waterfalls. I looked at the map of the area and noticed all these additional inland, high mountain lakes. Truly incredible. Norway has such an abundance of water, and it is spilling over everywhere. Next stop, Reine.
Death grip on the wheel?
Death grip, yeah. Beautiful place to come into.
Yep. Alright, we just arrived in Reine, and I want to show you our stern view. It's got to be one of the ones that's sets a good record for the most beautiful stern view. Let me show you what that looks like. So out here from the dock, this is what we get to look at today. Big peak up there. There's a super aggressive steep hike that goes up to the top of that peak, and we're going to do that a little bit. And it's just really, really nice with all of these mountains around us. All right, getting ready for our hike, and we going up to the top of this peak up ahead here, all the way up there, 400 meters. We're joined by many other hikers today.
Yeah.
We're not alone on the trail today. There's a cruise ship, small cruise ship in harbor, National Geographic ship. So I'm sure there's lots of people with that. And here's the harbor here itself. We considered anchoring out there in the middle because there was no room on the dock, but and then we eventually found space on the dock. And it's so windy that there's whitecaps developing right away. just off the shore. Just shows you how the wind kind of funnels through this area from the peak up there. Kind of squeezes the wind in here. I think we're ready.
All right.
Hey guys, are you planning on doing the hike?
Yeah.
Yeah, I work for the tourist office just to let you know it's extremely windy today.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Be
yeah,
careful.
just be careful because you'll probably notice it on the way here.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
about 40-45 kilometers an hour.
Okay.
Up there it's 70-80.
Wow.
Some people told us they had to stand their ground on top.
Wow.
So
Wow.
just stay safe,
Okay.
take your time. And,
Okay.
but it's a beautiful hike.
Okay.
You'll
Okay.
love it. It's completely worth it.
All right.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
All right. Here we go. Only up like 150 stairs, but it's already a great spot to view. I don't think we've had this clear of a day in the Lofoten Peninsula yet. And that's the mainland over there. Wow. Sit back.
We're in the harbor of Reine on the Lofoten Peninsula in Norway. And we had heard that this was really touristy and it just seemed like it wasn't going to be a very great place to come. Obviously it's beautiful, but really isn't that touristy. I guess it's early season. It's early June. It's cold. It's definitely cold. We're having to tolerate having our hands cold most of the time, having hats and gloves and layers of coats on and all of that. But yeah, it's sure a pretty area. Oh yeah, there is a hawk over there chasing seagulls. Ooh, wow. Crazy.
In the morning, we're off to Ballstad, up here. As we enter Ballstad's inner harbor, we see the ever-present fish drying racks.
So we've seen this at several houses in Ballstad where they have their own cod drying operation going on. A lot of commercial cod drying, but these folks do their own. All right, we've got some more fish drying going on here. Karen thinks that they're heads of fish.
Yeah, they're all heads. Look.
Wow, yeah. So they were harvesting, so to speak, some of these earlier today, pulling them off, throwing them into a back of a truck, and They've still got a few here drying, but a lot of them have been already harvested. Huge amount of fish drying going on over here too. All right, fish.
So these, I think these are all the heads. Look over here, those are the bodies.
Yeah, so we're going with heads over here.
Yeah.
So these, we think, with the netting all around, are whole bodies of fish. This is an operation that's probably been going on for hundreds and hundreds, maybe 1,000 years. They talk about this harbor in Ballstad. They believe that there's been fishing going on here for 1,000 years in the harbor. And you have to believe that they were doing the same thing back then, drying the fish without refrigeration. It's cool that the tradition still continues. And the economics allow for you to still do this. So rows and rows of heads of fish. Make a good haunting for Halloween. All right, we are in Ballstad in the Lofoten Peninsula. We're headed south finally. We are probably leaving the Arctic, crossing the Arctic Circle later tonight on our way south. And you can see this beautiful fishing village with peaks and mountains above. Very nice spot. They have a nice shipyard and a liferaft service area, which I'll get to in a sec, and a marina down over there. We stayed at a week ago and we're back. So we came here a week ago to drop our life raft off, to have it recertified, checked out, inspected and all that. And long story short is it's too old and they ordered us a new one, which would be here in a week. And this is a week later and thankfully it arrived on time from Oslo. So we kind of killed a little bit of extra time that we probably wouldn't have spent in the Lofoten Peninsula. So the other struggle is we've been struggling a lot with our mainsail over the last week or so. It's not furling in, it's not unfurling. It's getting stuck in the furler. It was really bad today. This sticky tape they use for the patching, chafe patches for where the spreaders rub, was peeling off and getting caught in the furling unit and grabbing more material, and it was a nightmare. We spent all morning working on that. I was up at the mast. But now we have the sail off and we're going to try to find a sail maker somewhere south. No sail makers in this area. Not a lot of people that really know sailing from a technical perspective either. It's mostly fishing area. So we're headed south, which is good news. Finally, happy to see this town one more time and the hospitality we got from the shipyard and the life raft servicing business there. Ballstad, Slipstad, I think is what they call it, something like that. Big service operation here inside that shed that's coming into view. And have a nice channelry and just really good services here. So we're happy to find that. Just that they don't know sailing and don't know how to deal with issues with mainsails that don't furl right. So we're on our way. Very excited.
Thanks for watching this second episode covering the Lofoten Peninsula. Join us next time as we visit an island that is home to a huge puffin colony. They sure enjoy a beautiful home when they are not out hunting at sea. Until next time.